Hello, my name is Chatelier, and welcome back for another episode of the Red Galaxy in Aurora 4X, and between the episodes I've done, I think a few year time skip. I don't actually remember the exact time that I exited or left in previous episode, but we've done a bit of time skip, and during that time we now finally got the ruins exploited, so we actually know the tech level of the ruined city in Proudov, and how many installations there are, and there's 97 installations. It's not a massive amount, at least compared to what we had in the Valhalla Vanguard series. We had pretty good amount of installations. We had like 400 in one of those planets, and that was quite good. But this is tech level 3, which is pretty much beyond what we have in most categories anyway. So we might be able to get some nice tech from here. We already do have some construction units in here, so we will be getting or going through the installations, but not necessarily particularly quickly, because if we have a look at the number that we have there, we only have 2 construction battalions. Each one of them has fairly little in terms of construction power, actually, now that I think of it. But yeah, at least there's a little bit in there, so they should be going through there, and I suppose, did we actually... No, I'm pretty sure that we do not have a ground training facility in there. No, we do not. But we should probably keep on training a bit more construction battalions here. Do another 2, or actually another 3, so there's going to be 1 construction point from those battalions altogether. And that should be alright. I mean, these are not particularly big ones, so we can transport quite a few. And then we do need to get some more troops in there, actually, in case there's some surprises found in there. Now, in terms of research, we are getting various things like fuel production is going to go up. Composite armor is, well, that's still over a year away. But we're about to get the size 40 commercial engine. And once we get that, we're going to redesign our tugs. And we're going to have 2 different tiers of tugs. One is going to be the 10 kiloton ship, and the other one is probably going to be about 20 kiloton ship. And then that way we're going to have the bigger tugs ferry around some bigger stations. And we do actually have the... we got the sorghum harvesting already, so we do have some... If we put on the wide view, we can look a little bit better. But we have the oiler, which is just a container fuel, which is going to be handy. It can carry over 9 million liters. It's not too bad. And then, hold on, we already have the Zamaz A10. Basically, I'm figuring out a new naming theme for the Zamaz, or the tugs here, also known as Zamazes. So A means a light, and then 10 is just how many kilotons it is. So the next one is probably going to be medium, like B20, and then maybe C50 or something like that, for the heaviest tugs that we'll be having, more or less. But it will... Actually, no, we haven't updated the engines here yet, but we will do that. So it's probably going to change the speed a tiny bit and all that sort of stuff. But it's alright, we've updated this for the most part. Then, of course, we do have the oiler, which I already told, and then we got the fuel harvesting station, which has 5 sorghum harvesters. So it produces a little bit of fuel. It has a fuel capacity of 1 million liters, which is actually quite a bit. It's going to take about 4 years to completely fill it, but the idea is that we'll have a tug with one of those oiler containers, or fuel containers, and it will go between various places that we are harvesting fuel in, and unload it into basically the closest colony, and then go for the next place, and so forth. It will be able to go on for a long while, especially once we actually start mass producing the harvesters. Then we do need to get some tugs doing their work to get those in position, but it shouldn't be too big of an issue. And then the fighter things, I have done a little bit of work, so for example... Oh right, that's still a prototype, which we have not started researching. Right. But there's a little bit of work here still that needs to be done, but basically the fighter bombers have 4,800 kilometers per second speed. It's not massive, but it should be alright. And they have a little bit of range, but again, nothing massive. But the primary idea of these is just for a small planetary protection or on a carrier and then being used over there. But these have some box launchers. Well, the leader doesn't have any, but the regular one has 10 box launchers. So let's say we have a group of 4 of the regular ones and then the leader for the sensors, which the leader actually has a bit extra armor just so that it can then take a hit or 2, because that's the one that has all the sensors, all the active sensors. So we kind of need that to be alive. The others only have the fire control and the launchers and a little bit fuel, engine, and basically the bare minimum armor. But yeah, that should be alright. So let's say we have 4 of the regular fighter bombers and then 1 lead as a wing. So we can fire 40 size 3 missiles in basically 1 salvo. Which isn't too bad, I reckon. I have also done a little bit of work on the missile design, but at the same time, nothing major has happened there if I remember correctly. Another thing that I do need to design at some point is if we go to Kazan, we are going to have to get some geosurvey missiles which will have massive range. Currently with the tech that we have, we could make some sort of missile that has a size 12 missile that has a range of 150 billion, which would be enough to get maybe the 2 inner planets here. But even the 3rd one is too far away, considering that we'd be firing it from the entrance, more or less. And of course well, we could probably get some geosurvey missiles with a bit smaller size and or something like that. But yeah, we'd be able to survey this system a bit easier, hopefully. But that is something that we'll have to think about later. We are about to get the better fuel efficiency, which is going to help a long way in that, to be fair. But let's go back to New Sol. And you know what? Oh, right, I still need to open that one there. We still have the mineral shortage to be proud of, but we are slowly fixing that. But let's keep on going. Right, so... Oh, Exploration 1 is heading back to refuel. Oh, I thought I sent you over here already. Oh, well. So, what you'll do is you'll do your resupply and overhaul. After that, we'll give you new orders. Now, we are taking some infrastructure still to the colony in Volgrad, which actually doesn't have any population there yet. Okay, yeah, but it could at some point have a little bit, but we do need to get more infrastructure there, and this place is mostly going to be just, generally speaking, stop where we can maybe get some maintenance done or stuff like that. We'll have to think about that a little bit. We could always bring into some maintenance supplies into the planet. Of course, it would require cargo handling capacity in there, so cargo shuttle base or something like that are going to be needed there eventually, but it's not a huge priority. And there we go, we got the engines now. We started on... Oh right, we started producing the Yeltsif anti-ship missiles, because we could produce the Vladimirs. Now then, so we completed the commercial engines. We started on the max engine power modifier 1.75, which honestly, to be able to get some good fast missiles, we need to get that much higher. But we're working on that slowly. Now that we got the engines, let's go ahead and redesign this a little bit. So, not there, but engine. There's also probably some engine types here that we could probably get rid of already. But anyway, let's replace these. Put in 2 of these. How much? That's not a massive speed. Oh, we could actually go with 3. That's actually not quite as big speed either. But it would have massive range. How about we put 1 more? Can we take... That would be 1,000 tons. That would lower the fuel by a lot, to be fair. That would lower it too much, I reckon. So that might not be a viable option, quite frankly. On the other hand, we could probably lower the deployment time quite a bit and lower the tonnage that way. I mean, technically it doesn't need more than 3 months, because it's commercial. Do we want to lower the armor, though? There's something that we could do. That would save us a bit more tonnage again. If we take away that one, that would take us rather close. I don't think we need necessarily another engineering space then. It does need to have some maintenance supply points, just in case, but... Let's see, so with the 500,000 liters, we still have over 200 billion kilometer range. That's over 1,000 days at full power. Which isn't too bad, really. Let's see, is there anything else over here that we could get rid of? How much would that cost? That would be 250 tons. So let's say we take away one of those and put in some smaller fuel storages. How much can we actually get out of this ship then? It's probably going to have to be a tiny... Actually, no, if we take away that one, take away the small ones, and the tiny, and put in regular fuel storage, and that is exactly the size. Now, it has pretty good speed, which means that it will be able to take various containers and other stuff with it with a relatively good speed, and at least a lot faster than the previous one. The question is, the range is only 155 billion kilometers now. I wonder if we could maybe get a little bit more room. If we take that one away, I'll put in another fuel storage there, and a small one. So now it would be 180 billion kilometers, which is probably still way more than enough. Actually, let's have a look. The crew members, okay, they do go up a little bit there. It's not as safe in terms of armor now, but I think we can manage with this. So we should probably start retooling the shipyard for these now. I'm pretty sure that that is all that we needed for that particular ship. So shipyard, this particular one, retool for the Zama's A10. Oh, that actually doesn't take all that long. Good. And then we'll start producing those. Or we could retool some of the ships as well. Let's have a look. So we are building another oh right, we're refitting one of the exploration ships. And then that one is being produced. That's going to be done in September. As soon as that is done, we can start producing the newer tugs. That should be alright. Right, well, let's keep on going then. Oh, we built another lab, did we? Yeah, we did. Okay, so where should we assign it? Ghost Cannon launch velocity is not necessarily a terrible thing. Although you don't necessarily need to have the velocity particularly higher, but at the same time, like, it doesn't really hurt in all fairness. Other than the fact that it's going to be a bit more expensive to do the turrets, but that's alright. I think we're going to put another research lab on the armor, just so that we can then, for the next generation of ships, they can have a little bit less armor there, so the extra room will be quite handy. Oh, right, and we did have the exploration, or the survey crafts, yeah, the Mark IIIs, but these are old news, quite frankly. They do have the survey engine. But they're not terrible, in quite fairness. I mean, the fact that they are actually cheaper to build than the previous ones is quite amazing. But part of that is, oh right, and they have double the deployment time and double the range and all that. So I think that's pretty good, but it's mostly because of we got the jump drive efficiency up. So the jump drive is much cheaper now. System surveyed. Novosibirsk has been surveyed. Okay, where is this on the... Over there. How much do you have? Fuel is the next question. So exploration 2. 78%. Okay, let me close that for a quick moment. So they are pretty much the same distance away from the jump point home. So how about you go to the jump point 3, because I think that is slightly closer. We'll go in there and start your surveying, and then we'll give you some new orders. Ah, we got a construction battalion. We'll start working on a new one. Once we get all 3 of the construction battalions, we'll transport them back to, or into Pravda. But for the time being, I'll just leave them in Kazakhstan. Alright, is there anything... Ooh, new mineral deposits. That's a little bit thorium on one of the comets. Alright then. Yeah, so far so good. Ooh, factory restored. 8,200 tons of titanium. That was actually a lot faster than I thought it would happen, but that's alright by me. So there's 1 down, and we have now a lot of titanium here, which will be transferred to, for the most part, back to Kazakhstan, but it's gonna take a long while to go down, in all fairness. But I mean, we're not really sure on titanium, although the quantity in the planet itself is going down, so that's actually gonna be probably the first one that we run out. Which is something to keep in mind. So Stalino, we are bringing in more mines here. We currently have 6 mines. We do have Mass Driver, which is transferring the resources to Pravda, and from Pravda the extra resources are transferred to Kazakhstan. Actually reminds me, what sort of resource do we have here? We do not have Galicite there yet. We should be getting that eventually. Of course, Stalino's resources are, for the most part, not beyond... Actually, none of them are over the stockpile yet, so they're not being transferred out. Vendera is going to be the first one. Right, but over here we might want to build another mass driver, quite frankly, because I have a feeling that this place is going to have quite big throughput of resources somewhere down the line. Put that in there. The infrastructure is still going to take a while. I mean, we got a decent production rate here already, so well, it's actually rather small. The population is also fairly small, to be fair. We do have the terraforming installations, which of course the modules would be faster or more efficient because they're cheaper to make, and they don't take population in, or they don't require population to work, and so forth. But they do require the research to be done, and the 5,000 research points currently has been a bit of a too steep price. I have now realized that the terraforming rate is actually like the default is per 1 installation or module is 0.0001. So we are actually having pretty good progress here with the 2. But yeah, it's still going to take a long while for the nitrogen levels to be high enough so that it's... I mean, technically, if we reach 0.3, we could then increase the oxygen levels, and that would technically make it breathable. And still safe, as long as we don't add too much oxygen. So let's actually put that in to 0.3. Right. So in St. Petersburg A1, what did they have here? They have a lot of uranium, at least. Actually, most of the resources are pretty good and fairly good accessibilities. We don't have the population here yet. We do have the population limit, though, a bit higher. Of course, since we do not have any construction facilities or any miners in here, we won't be getting the resources. Actually, do they produce... They do produce mercassium and uranium, so technically, if we were to bring in some mines in here, actually both of them are produced with a decent speed. Let's say we bring in 5 mines and 5 construction factories, they can start building their own infrastructure there. Slowly, but they can start doing that. And then eventually we can start bringing in more people and all that. Of course, it is currently growing with a pretty good speed on its own. But yeah, I think I will bring in... Is the colony ship... if we go back to our home system, the colony ship is currently there, just sitting. So how about we go in and do a couple more trips. Load colonist, then go to St. Petersburg, and unload colonist there. And go back there, we can repeat that. Repeat it 4 times. I'm pretty sure that that is still going to be within the range that you have. So repeat orders, and then you can refuel from colony. It's going to keep you busy for a little while, but that's alright. We might want to get some bigger colony containers, quite frankly, or just more of them. Let's see if we can get... Oh, overhaul reduce... Oh, right, the exploration vessel has been now refitted. Good. And we completed research on the geoserver equipment and started on the powered infantry armor, because that's going to give us the boarding capability infantry. Or the, well, yeah, infantry. Which is going to be quite good. And then there's the... Well, actually, let's go ahead and design the geosurvey equipment. It needs to be medium vehicle. Geosurvey and geosurvey. So it does produce 0.2 points in geosurvey per unit. It does have not too terrible price. I wonder, can we make it? No, it needs to be a vehicle, of course. Just wanted to make sure. Right, so it's going to be a geosurvey company. We will create that. That's of course avoiding combat. Once we have that, actually, let's put that into the queue already. So that one, then ground combat, geosurvey company, add to the queue, and we're going to do that before the corps, or corps headquarters. The usual mistake there, but yeah, we'll do that there. And how long is the... Hold on, power infantry armor. It's going to take a bit more than a year. 1.5 years, a bit more than that actually still, but yeah, it's not too bad. We'll get that in due time, and then we'll get the course cannon launch velocity soon. We do have the magazine neutralization system, 85% chance, queued up, and I actually might want to set up the magazine feed system efficiency over there as well. Add that to the queue, just so that we can get a bit better magazines and launchers and all that. Actually, the reload rate wouldn't be bad either. So add that to the queue. We'll do a fair bit of missile research, of course. We're not doing it with a tremendous speed, quite frankly. But it's alright, and we should be getting that by April next year, so it's still going to take a while. The mines are going to be done later this year, of course, but there's not a lot of them to do, quite frankly. Then we'll be bringing up a bit more construction factories. And how's the Lino's population evolving there? It's growing slowly. It does actually have... Oh right, we are still in process of getting some mines there. Right, but the Exploration 4 needs to get some new orders, I believe. So where have you been in terms of this? Probably over that way, I would assume. So Pratsk is where you'll be heading to. So that's in St. Petersburg, Sverdlovsk, and Pratsk. And do your dirty deeds there. Okay, we got another construction battalion. That's good. Still got one more coming, then we'll transport all three of them. And then actually we might want to start getting some more infantry. Or something to help defend the place if there's something nasty that we found. Oh, I think we found our first loop. Yes, we did. Interesting. I haven't actually completely surveyed Tomsk either. So what do we have there? Naval forces, we got Exploration 2 and 3. And there we have the jump point. Oh, right, yeah. Okay, well that's our first. I'm okay with that. There's still a lot of surveys that needs to be done in Tomsk by the looks of it. Let's actually have a look at it. Well, there's some jump point surveys that needs to be done, but consider that there hasn't been all that many places in here that we've found so far. Okay, for time, and of course the mineral shortages. This is a problem in Vorkuta. Exploration 5 had a problem there. But I think they are still doing fairly fine in terms of... They're running a bit low on supplies, but they'll be heading home soon after refuel. They can then resupply and overhaul there. Orders not possible in Tomsk, so Exploration 3... I suppose I could send you back... Yeah, I suppose you have been out for 1.5 years. Not the limit of your capabilities, of course, but let's go back to Volgograd and back to home. We can refuel and resupply, begin overhaul. After that, we can send you somewhere else. Now, I wonder what else can we find from the... I mean, I know that there's a lot of things that you can find in the ruins. Including some hostiles. Okay, we got the... construction battalions now completed. So, let's take the troop 1. You will be loading... all the construction battalions. And then unload all ground units, and then move back. Shouldn't take too long. Now at the same point, let's actually have a look. What do we have here? Other than construction battalions, we got a couple of those there. I think they could use another battalion infantry, so let's go ahead and construct or train a... start with the battalion HQ actually. Then we'll get some more infantry there. So 3 infantry companies, AT company, and mortar company. That's going to be a battalion. And we'll transport that to Pravda as well. Then we might get some more ground units in our capital as well. But we are unfortunately out of time for this episode. So if you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also check out the links down below in the description. But other than that, thank you very much for watching. And until next time, bye bye.